How's everybody doing?
Great. How are you?
Doing good, thanks.
One of the things you said in the wake of the first Jets game was you expressed a little regret about the way you called that, the way things kind of played out. What sort of lessons did you learn from that game, maybe, that you're interested in applying this weekend going forward?
Yeah, without getting into scheme, there's some things that I would have definitely done differently. Put Jacoby in a couple bad spots in the opening play of the game, and then in the second quarter, put him in some tough spots on the edge and some of the calls. So definitely learned from that lesson. We have to have some other answers for their pressure packages. Those are some of the things took away from the game.
What did you like most about the way you guys started the game this past week?
We scored a touchdown. I think that was the key. I was really proud of the guys' first two drives. I thought we did some good things, showed some progress. We got better as an offense. Kind of stalled out there in the middle of the second quarter into the third, and then got a nice drive there towards the end of the game to put us back in it. But we're getting better. We're progressing. I thought the pass protection was better in this game. I thought we handled the edges better than we had in the past few games. So I think we're making progress there. Disappointing thing for us was the run game. Have to find more production through the run. I think the pass game's getting better each week, through practice, and it's translating over to the game. So that's a positive. Just got to continue to fight and continue to grow and continue to get better each week.
I want to ask you about the run game. How much discussion in the offensive room, or even just among coaches, has there been in terms of adjusting the type of runs that you're calling to maybe put the players in better position?
Absolutely, a ton. That's what it's all about. How can we put them in the best position to succeed? Having the multiple change-ups in the offensive line doesn't help. Those guys get to work combinations together week after week. We've just been snake-bitten there a little bit with injuries, multiple people filling in throughout the course of the game. So that's been a tough part of that as well. I wouldn't say it's, schematics. We had hats for hats. We have to do a better job getting our backs to the second and third level. And some of that could be through types of runs that we run.
Over your career, what adjustments you've been able to make, do you think, to enhance and get that running game going?
Without getting into scheme again, there's definitely some variation of runs, that maybe we haven't shown yet. There's a lot of stuff that we can do, but ultimately we have to be better up front, and move those guys off the ball, get our backs to the linebacker level, and let them do what they do best.
There seems to be some growing dissatisfaction with the receivers yesterday. KJ Osborne sort of alluded to that he wouldn't mind being traded. Keyshawn Boutte said something along the lines of he didn't feel like he had to keep asking to getting the ball on the sidelines. Is this a situation where maybe you or the staff has to meet with this group and sort of have this kind of kumbaya moment, or just sort of talk to them?
Yeah, I think we all understand we're frustrated. Nobody's going to be happy at 1-6. That's just the reality of it. But I think that room in particular needs to keep the focus inward. We have a big game this week. All of our focus should be on how we can, get a W on Sunday. It's a very good opponent coming in. I understand the frustrations. That's part of losing football. Best way to take care of that is to get a win. But I think our focus right now needs to be solely on the Jets, because it's a challenge.
Do you worry about how Drake will handle that? Like guys saying, "I need the ball, get me the ball."
I don't think it's the first time he's heard that in his career. Every quarterback goes through that. Some guys are honest with you. Some guys think they're always open. It's just a matter of keep working. The ball will find you at the appropriate time. Defense determines a lot of where the ball goes. Scheme, we could help them, but that's a general. And I love the fact that they want the ball. I'd be disappointed if somebody came out of the game with no catches and was happy. So they're a competitive group. Obviously, it's a frustrated group based on where we are right now in our record. But I think the arrow is pointing up through the pass game. Guys are making plays through the pass game. Just keeping that focus internal. Just do everything I can do that day in practice to be my best self. And I think that's the message that everybody needs to take.
Alex, this is the fourth time you'll see this style of defense. It's Sunday a case of, hey, we need to do the same things that we've been doing, just better, or are there still new answers to unlock some things against this?
There's definitely scheme that could be implemented that'll help us versus this style of defense. And at the same time, we need to execute better. It's kind of a 50-50 proposal there. There'll be things that we'll do that they haven't seen, which will be good. But at the same time, when we go to our core plays that take advantage of this defense, we have to execute.
Alex, you said the pass protection has been better. How much does a quarterback style of play affect pressure and pressure rate?
His style of play?
Yeah, like if a quarterback might take off more, can throw downfield better, more athletic.
Yeah, I mean, it gives us the ability to make plays when things aren't there. I think you've seen that with Drake. You know, if nobody's open, pulling it down and running, that definitely gives you an advantage. In the pass pro, again, schematically, how do you call the game, I think has a big part of that. You know, trying to get the ball out on plant throws and on time. But again, ultimately, you're not going to be able to help the edge every time. So we're going to have to, you know, block them when those situations arise, say 2 minute, you know, 3rd and 8 to 10. We need to get more receivers out into the patterns. But the ability to break through the line of scrimmage and gain yards with your legs does give you another option.
Alex, what have you seen from Drake? You know, from start 1 to start 2, what kind of things did you see him improve on? What does he continue to need to work on? And how much is the development of him go hand to hand with those guys that are saying they're open, finally getting them the ball?
Yeah. Again, that's every receiver they're going to say, and I appreciate that and their remarks. But his development is where we need to be right now. I think he saw the field extremely well last week. He knew exactly what the defense was giving him, and when they tried to disguise, took advantage of some throws down the field in those situations. So his development, I'm really happy with what he's done from week to week. Again, and that's from the start of the season through watching his practice reps. You know, I'm happy there. We just got to continue to grow as a group.
Alex, you have some young players in that receiver group. Do you feel as though everybody in that group is doing everything they can away from the field during the week, just in terms of taking care of themselves, doing what they need to do to be the best professionals they can be?
Yeah, we had a really great team meeting this morning where that was pointed out. Obviously, at 1-6, it's not good enough across the board, any of us. So we need to be better. We need to work harder. We need to, you know, rehab harder. We got to refresh better. We got to take care of ourselves. We got to spend more time in the room. So, good meeting this morning, demanding more of everybody across the board, and those guys are included.
Alex, do you see Drake kind of putting his imprint on the offense in terms of connections he's establishing, you know, with players, receivers, and whatnot, and the type of plays he's making for the offense?
Yeah, I think so. I think that'll continue to grow. The relationship building, that's a huge piece. You know, a consecutive, continuous, consistent routes, throwing the ball, getting to know how these guys move, you know, the indicators that they might have throughout their route running, that'll continue to grow. You know, and as the pass game continues to grow, I think, you know, you'll see those guys shine.
Do you feel that a quarterback needs a go-to receiver, or would you like to see him establish that kind of with everyone?
I think that naturally happens throughout the course of a season. As more guys work together, there'll be a comfort level with certain individuals. I would say Hunter right now is a kind of a security blanket. I think he's done a great job of being available in the pass game and making the plays that come to him. That's where it probably starts, but it'll continue to grow as we get more reps together.
Alex, so just how do you feel the route spacing has looked in the passing game?
Good. You know, I think so versus zones. I mean, that's the key. It's the timing and the spacing versus zone defense, and then creating separation versus man. But I thought, you know, if you look at a few of those big plays down the field, the spacing was where it needed to be, and you know, it led to a KJ touchdown there. You know, later in the game, I thought those were some of the times and zones that we took advantage of our spacing.
To that point on the first drive, it seemed like there were a couple play actions where guys were close together. Were those just outliers from your perspective, or were guys where they were supposed to be?
Guys were supposed to be. Coverage dictates where the ball goes. Didn't draw the coverage we were looking for on those one or two of those particular play actions, but yeah, I think we're in good shape there.
I was curious about Kay Shockley and what you've seen from him, just how he's developed to the last 2 weeks. We've seen him make 2 big catches.
Yep, it's continued growth. I mean, I think the growth, his work ethic changed at the beginning of the season. You know, he started putting the time in, and it's paid off for him. I mean, the practice reps, even on the scout team earlier in the season before he was active, those were really great routes, and that's the kind of deal. You do the work, you put the work in. You know, you get a chance to get a helmet on Sunday. So really proud of where he is and what he's accomplished. Again, understand the frustration from everybody, but you know, we're a work in progress. We're going to continue to grow.
Is there anything he could do to get targeted more?
You know, again, the defense dictates a lot where the ball goes. You know, we definitely have plays that are highlighted for certain individuals, and he's one of those guys.
Final question, guys. Leadership among the receivers. Do you see someone like that is the one they can look to say, whether it's Troy Brown, you know,
Yeah.
that hey, do it like that, or carry yourself like that?
Yeah, the guy that comes to mind is KJ. I think he just does it right every time. He's in the right spot. He's aligned correctly. He runs the right, the depths on the routes. You know, he's a guy that works hard. He can play multiple positions. I would say it would be KJ. Great. Thanks, guys.